Welcome back, my fellow degenerates. Week 7 is nearing kickoff, and we have some exciting news. And that would be some blockbuster trades around the league. I don't know about you guys, but trading is my favorite part of the NFL season. It's just an exciting time all around. See what teams are making moves to get better, what teams are saying our season's over. Cleveland Browns, that's you, just kicking Amari Cooper out of there. But as fantasy football players, this is so exciting. If you have Amari Cooper or Devontae Adams, they are winding up in much better places. So, on the episode this week, we're going to go over that. We'll talk about the trades. We'll talk about how it impacts the players and their teams, Garrett Wilson, Keon Coleman, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, so exciting to get into that. And also, following that, we'll go over my predictions as well as Dan's predictions. So, Dan is not joining me this week. He's in the doghouse, I think, something like that. I don't know. He said he was watching too much football and his girlfriend got mad at him. So, yeah, I'm sure he has no regrets on that one. But, anyways, he wrote in his picks. I'll go over them. I'm sure they're terrible as always. And, anyways, that's about all I got. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. Good luck in all of your fantasy football endeavors, unless you're in one of our leagues, because then luck ain't going to save you. Peace.
In audio.
And three, two, one. Welcome. We are back at the DGen Fantasy Football Channel. I'm your host, Dylan, flying solo this week, but that's okay. We got plenty of exciting news going on. A couple trades going on. Big news, Devontae Adams to the New York Jets and Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills. Hopefully, you guys have these guys in some of your leagues, change things up, get things rolling a little bit. Some of my teams, 2 and 4, I have Amari Cooper. Let's hope that turns the tides a little bit. But let's just go over these trades briefly, their impacts, and kind of my thoughts on them and what it means for the fantasy scope of things. So Devontae Adams to the Jets, third round pick. It's a conditional pick based on some metrics that he isn't going to hit. He's got to be first team All Pro or second team All Pro, or if they make the AFC Championship game, which personally I don't think either of those are going to happen. So third round pick for Devontae. I like it. And let's see what impact it's going to have on the wide receiver room. Is Garrett Wilson's currently there? He leads the league in targets, having 67 targets this season. I think that's obviously going to come down a little bit with Devontae leaving, but there's news now out that Mike Williams is on the trade market. They're trying to get him out of there. I guess he's been replaced with Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers' best friend. So not great news for Mike Williams, but obviously there's still need some targets, and they're not getting rid of Lazard. Lazard's still Rodgers' boy, so it's basically just Green Bay 2.0 with Garrett Wilson. Um, I still expect Garrett Wilson to be the leading receiver here. I think Devontae is going to be a little bit of a boomer bust guy, most likely, but the offense will still run through Garrett Wilson. Now, I could be totally wrong, and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong, but Devontae just doesn't have like fit the description of the workhorse wide receiver at 32 years old. So we'll see how that goes. And then moving on to the other trade is Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills. It was a third round pick as well as a late pick swap. I believe it was a sixth and a seventh pick swap. Not that it really matters or anyone really cares. What does this mean for the Browns? Pretty much nothing other than that the team sucks and you don't want to play anyone for fantasy. Nick Chubb is coming back, and that's pretty much the only bright spot. I think Chubb, you're fine to play this week, hopefully, as long as practice reports are all good. But other than that, like this doesn't bump up Jerry Judy by any means. I mean, if you have Jerry Judy in a league, maybe you could sell him now, but I wouldn't really be hopeful for that. So still staying away from all Browns players not named Nick Chubb. And then moving over to the Bills. This is very exciting. Amari Cooper is a little bit older, but what he is good at is his elite route running skills. And that is probably the skill set that translates the best with age for the wide receiver position. And it is something that Josh Allen sorely needs right now. They got a couple like fill-in guys, some younger guys, Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. They've all shown moments of greatness. Even Mac Collins looks good this year, but they're not the real deal. So obviously, Mac Collins going to see the biggest regression in terms of usage, fitting a similar size profile as Amari Cooper, being the outside guy. I still like Shakir. Maybe I'm just a homer because I have Shakir ownership, but let's see. He still gets some targets underneath in slant routes and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm fine with rolling with Shakir. Keon Coleman also going to take a little bit of back seat. This is kind of what we expected coming into the season, though. He's had a couple like big play moments, the 49-yard touchdown last 2 weeks ago, but other than that, like he's not. You're not starting him anyways. So yeah, they're both very exciting. If I have either of them, I'm gonna play them this week. I'm probably more excited to play Amari Cooper versus the Titans. But yeah, we'll see. So let them ride if you have them in your leagues. All right. Anyways, moving on to our week 7 predictions. I didn't want another week to go by where we didn't give you guys our picks for the week. Hopefully they can help you out and hopefully they bring some laughs for you. So Dan sent me over his picks since he's not going to be here this week. Honestly, I opened them earlier and I looked at them briefly and I was like, I kind of want to more so have the live reaction on stream before I really think about them. So anyways, let's get into it. So his quarterback pick of the week is Drake May versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Dan put in a little note that he wants everyone to know that he's starting him over Kyler Murray in a league. You know, it's a little crazy, but I don't think it's too crazy. They're playing the Jags. Drake May looked all right in this past week. The scheme looked more so the problem than the quarterback from what I've seen in the footage, but he had a couple good plays. Looks like Pop Douglas he's his guy, so at least he has some targets that are reasonable compared to last year on the Patriots. Um, yeah, I don't hate this take, but the Jags, the game is in London. The Jags have been in London for an extra week, so that's probably a little bit. They're going to be more comfortable this week, so um, I'll just actually say this right now. My QB pick for the week is Trevor Lawrence. Playing the Patriots. One of the main reasons being is they've been in London for a week already, so a little bit more comfortable. They go there more often than other teams. Trevor's played there before; he's used to the deal. So I think this week they get things back together. Last week was the first week with Evan Ingram back in the offense, so now that they get kind of used to that, I expect to see some more work for Brian Thomas Jr. specifically. Part of that's hoping, but when they get him the ball, things go much better for their team. So if you have a BTJ, I'd start him this week. I wouldn't worry about last week's down week. Moving back to the running back room, I think is where we see I think Dan's trying to game the system here a little bit. So the thought process of this segment was picking guys, looking at their projections according to sleeper and full PPR leagues, right? So and we would call them a hit or miss if they hit their projection or miss their projection. And so Dan's 2 running back picks of the week are Austin Eckler and Tyler Algier. And I like both of these guys for different reasons. But I don't know. Dan's just trying to get a little cheeky with it. I mean, Eckler had a decent week with volume last week, just getting some involvement in the passing game, as well as Brian Robinson Jr. being out. Tyler Algier, massive week last week with a blow up, 20 touches, 100 plus yards, finding the end zone. Excuse me. Um, so yeah, I think they both probably hit these projections, but for Eckler, it really depends on if B Rob's back. It's looking like that's trending towards he will be back, but I'd stay pay close attention to that. And then my running back of the pick of the week, we're going with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt of the Kansas City Chiefs. We with the Chiefs, we entered a time portal and we're back in 2018. And Juju and Kareem are elite players once again. So they're playing the Niners. I think it's going to be a really good game, probably one of the best games this week. I'm excited for it. And I think Kareem Hunt is going to have a good game. He's projected for 11 points. I can see him easily finding the end zone, probably getting 20 plus touches. Carson Steele was all the news at the beginning of the year, but that's kind of died out. He had some fumble issues, and they trust Kareem Hunt, so he's going to be the workhorse back. He had 10 points 2 weeks ago and then 18 points last week. So definitely starting Kareem Hunt in leagues that I own him. Um, Dan coming in with another spicy take moving over to wide receiver is he picked a guy who's a top 10 wide receiver right now. So you're not going to learn anything from this take is if you have Chris Godwin, you're obviously playing Chris Godwin. Um, Nothing too crazy there. But Chris Godwin's projected for 16 points, and Dan is declaring this a God tier start. And he defined that to me as God tier start means that he's going to outscore his projection by 5 plus points. So I guess Dan is saying Chris Godwin is a lock for 21 points this week. Um, I mean, I guess I like it. We're just going to get a little bit extravagant here, go all out. They are playing in prime time on Monday against the Baltimore Ravens, so should be a good game. The Ravens have let up quite a lot of passing yards this year with a much better rush defense. So, actually, probably the best rush defense in the league. So, I understand that thought process. Monday night should be a banger game. We'll give it to him. And then he picked a streamer wide receiver as well of the week just to play is Wandell Robinson. Um, I like Wandell, but we'll see. I think the key thing to pay attention to is Malik Neighbors, see if he comes back or not. If he does, I don't expect Wandell to get the target share he's been getting. Let me check this real quick. Uh, I believe Wandell's top 5 in targets this year, which is crazy that he's with Malik Neighbors, but he's missed quite a few games now. Um, yeah, so Wandell has, yeah, he's second in the league in targets with 58 targets. So 9.7 targets per game. That's wild. So I guess I like the volume, but it is Danny Dimes and the New York Giants. So we'll see. They're playing the Eagles as well. Interesting take, Dan. We'll see though. All right. And then my wide receiver pick of the week, I think he's firmly now established himself as Justin Herbert's wide receiver one with 8 targets last week. Herbert had his most passing yards of the season last week, and we are going with another Monday night matchup here. 9 p.m. kickoff against the Cardinals is Lad McConkey. A lot of this is based on the matchup as well as Herbert's progression. I think Herbert's getting a little healthier week by week, day by day. It's good to see. But this past week, I know he didn't have a ton of yards, but he looked great on the field. I think there's a couple drives where he just hit every single third down pass that were just beautiful. So we like seeing it. And the Cardinals pass D is it's pretty gross, to be honest. So I really like this matchup for him. Try and get 13 points out. Lad here, we'll take that. Easy. This should be easy money. All right, moving over to the tight end position. All right, Dan just traded for this tight end in the league with someone who must be a very frustrated owner of Sam Laporta. He traded Javonte Williams straight up in I believe is a full PPR league, might be a half PPR league for Sam Laporta. So Laporta, we told you guys all off season was one of the worst picks in the draft, being an early 3rd round draft pick. Not going to produce the way you want at that draft capital. So Laporta is projected for 11 points against the Vikings. God damn, dude. If you think back to the draft and you're like, oh, this 3rd round pick tight end is hoping to get 11 points in week 7. And nobody would have drafted him. So, yeah, I think Laporta can get 11 points. I mean, the Lions have just been steamrolling everyone, right? They just dumpstered the Lions. But I'm hoping this Vikings game coming off the bye looks good. I know we have a lot of Kevin O'Connell fans out there, specifically Simon and Dan. huge bandwagoners there. So I'm hoping for a good game this week. Keep it close, not a 50-point blowout. All right. And then my tight end pick of the week, he may be available on waivers in some more shallow leagues or maybe not, but is Dalton Schultz. He saw some more targets as well with Nico Collins being out. CJ Stroud still looks amazing. A lot of pass volume on that offense. Nico's out. They're playing Green Bay, not the greatest passing defense. They're letting up a lot of yards. So, yeah, we'll take Dalton Schultz there. He's only projected for 9.5 points. If you get 10 out of a tight end, that's perfect. Yeah, at this point, if you're looking for a tight end, it's just pretty much everybody who didn't draft George Kittle or Brock Bowers. Yeah, I think Dalton Schultz a great holdover for this week. And let's see, anything else we got news wise or going over this week? Um, I think that's about it. We'll wrap it up there. So yeah, anyways, that's about all I got, guys. So best of luck in your fantasy football endeavors this week, and we will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.